here, making another blog post for the Tattooed Banana in association with Red Goat Web Design. Today somebody asked me a little bit of information about media queries, and quite honestly the term kind of threw me for a loop. I've always used the term responsive design, meaning that the page will respond depending upon the resolution of the screen. The difference between a desktop picture, the desktop machine, a tablet, and a phone all have different resolutions, so therefore they would all show different content. But we want to still make that content relatively the same, so that way we have the same look and feel across all of them. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to go ahead and create a new HTML document. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to throw in the body, hello world. Right, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. We're going to name it our index. Okay, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to preview it in browser just so we can see that it's working. There's our hello world. Great. Okay, so I'm going to go close that up. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to get rid of the hello world. Oops. I'm going to get rid of the hello world and I'm going to throw in a div tag. This div tag I'm going to give an ID of cube. I'm just going to name it cube, right? And I'm going to go ahead and close that div tag up. I'm going to go in here into the title. I'm going to go ahead and throw a style together. Here's my style. Close that style tag up. Okay. Inside the style, my very first style, I'm going to go ahead and name to be cube, right? And inside here we're going to go ahead and make a background. I'm going to use a background color. I'm going to use good old red so that way it's nice and bold and we can see what we're doing. The width of this is going to be about 800 pixels. The reason why I chose 800 pixels is because that's like the normal width of a standard web page. 800 to 1000 pixels, right? So we're going to make that width. The height is only going to be, we're going to throw a little bit of height on here, about 200 pixels. So this would represent just about the size of a large banner at the top, or maybe the header of our page. We're going to go ahead and close up now that cube. I'm going to go up here to say File and Save. I'm going to say File and down to Preview in Browser, and boom, in our browser, there's our red square. Okay, our red cube. As we close this, you'll notice when we get smaller down to the size of, say, our iPhone resolution, you'll notice how much of this square we're missing over here, right? It just cuts it off. We have to scroll from left to right to see it. Okay? So what we want is something responsive, meaning that if we go into a smaller screen, this square is going to change. So let's go ahead and build that response right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to throw my first media query in here, which is just simply going to be an @media sign. Right, @media. I'm going to say screen because we're talking about changing the screen resolution. I'm going to say and max dash width. Right? I'm going to give the max width of this thing about 600 pixels. So when the screen reaches 600 pixels or less, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and have that change. Right? So there's my media. Go ahead and close that up. Also bring in here. And I'm going to say cube and create the style. And this is my background. I'm going to choose a background color, and this one I'm going to do a nice bright green. Okay. And I'm going to say that this time the width is going to be about 400 pixels wide. And the height is going to be, let's say 600 pixels wide, right? Make sure that that's closed. Make sure that our media screen code is closed. Everything looks good. go up to File, down to Save As, File, down to Preview and Browser, over to Google Chrome. Boom, there's our screen, our red square. Now when this gets smaller than 600 pixels wide, watch what happens. Boom, all of a sudden it changes. That's what you call responsive design, meaning that if my resolution was this is what I would have seen from the beginning. Since my resolution was this is what I saw from the beginning. Okay? And so it changes depending upon the side. There's all sorts of really cool things that you could do with responsive design. You can create, say, a new menu up here at the top, and then create a new menu for a landscape and one for a portrait. When you're looking at this on portrait view, say on your phone, you see that different menu up here on the top, whereas landscape, you would see it up here. You hide one, don't hide the other, depending upon the resolution. All sorts of really good things that you can do with it. It makes your design really flow from one interface to another. There are some issues with using this though. For instance, Internet Explorer 8 or less will not use responsive design. This is a relatively new type of technology, so you've always got to work around that. But just throwing that out there, take a look at it. It's responsive design, also called media queries. There's all sorts of really good things you can do with it. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me, redgoat@gmail.com. Again, this was Jason Jennings for Tattooed Banana in association with Red Goat Web Design. Have a great day. Have a good night.